In this video, we're going to be replacing the fuel regulator for a Ford Expedition, and this should be the same for a Ford F-150 for the 1997 through 2002 model. As you can see here, we have the fuel regulator right here. We've got the O-rings and all that, so we're going to go ahead and take it out the bag and get set up. In this video, I'm using some cheap snap ring pliers. Harbor Freight has heavier duty pliers. However, I recommend getting them from Amazon. I'll put a link in the description because I think this will probably be the best deal, and they're not as flimsy as these Harbor Freight ones. But like I said, the Harbor Freight ones got the job done for this video. Alright, first things first, we're going to take off that hose that's connected to the old fuel regulator. I'm just kind of going to wiggle it off while pulling straight up, and this should pretty much take it off of the fuel regulator. Now that we have that hose off, I'm going to bring the camera closer and you can see the hose for the snap ring. We're going to put the pliers in there to compress that snap ring, and then we can remove that to get the fuel regulator off. Alright, so I prefer the grips on the right or the ones at the bottom just because they work better for using the snap ring. The other ones were just too flimsy. So this is me just trying to put it together. Like I said, I originally tried with this one, like a 90-degree angle, and I was able to loosen the snap ring, but I ended up switching to the 45 or 30-degree angle pliers to actually remove the snap ring. Alright, so as you can tell, I'm using it looks like 20 or 30-degree angle snap ring pliers at this point, and as you can tell, it has a better clearance than a 90-degree angle, and it's a little better than using the straight pliers because I would have been hitting all the hoses on the right side of my hand. Alright, so after turning that top nipple over to the left side, pretty much counterclockwise, I was able to get more clearance, and from there I kind of just rotated that snap ring around a little bit, and then I was able to get that out of there. So this was what worked out for me. Since this fuel regulator is mostly a press to fit, I ended up using some pliers to try to pull this out. At first I was trying to pull just from the top nipple from there, but I realized if I put the pliers kind of in like a 90-degree angle and I pull straight back, this fuel regulator pops out. A couple drops of fuel dropped out, so just make sure that evaporates or dry up before you start up your vehicle. But other than that, we're going to go ahead and put the new fuel regulator in. Since the O-rings are technically kind of dry on the new fuel regulator, we went ahead and twisted that inside of the old fuel regulator hole just because there's still fuel inside, and kind of use that as lubricant before we just fully pressed in the fuel regulator. Now that that is on, we're just going to go ahead and re-add that snap ring. This actually was the hardest part of the entire thing compared to even taking off the snap ring. So like before, we basically had the nipple pointing to like the left side, and from here we kind of just pretty much compressed this as much as possible. We pressed the top or the bottom part of the snap ring in first, and then push the top part in, and then from here I rotated the nipple back up, and then from there we reconnect the holes for the fuel regulator. And this is how you replace your fuel regulator on your Ford F-150 or Ford Expedition. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe. I did my best to keep the camera as smooth as possible so it's not one of those videos where people are having a hard time to watch. Thank you.